basics, the org structure, using the general ledger, recon accounts, and review questions at the very end. This is all pertaining to financial accounting. So the basics for financial accounting, it's external reporting, legal reporting. As you learned in probably most of your accounting classes, your debits have to equal your credits, and then your assets are going to equal your liabilities and your equity.
And to add to that, when it says external, really think about who uses the information in financial accounting. And that's going to be your outside sources. That's going to be your investors. That's going to be governmental agencies, things like that.
When we move into controlling accounting, that's more of the information for managers inside the company. Here's the organizational structure for financial accounting. As always, the client is the highest hierarchical level of SAP. And then the reports directly to the controlling area. The controlling area isn't actually directly connected to any sort of, it's not directly connected to any sort of part of the tree, I guess you would say, of the SAP module itself. And then the company codes are reporting directly to the controlling area. A controlling area can have more than one company code, but a company code can only have one controlling area.
And it's important to know what the company codes have to have in common in order to be assigned to the same controlling area. In order for a company code to be assigned to the same controlling area as another company code, they have to have two things. They have to share the same fiscal year variant, and they have to share the same operating chart of accounts.
A company code, like different company codes, could represent different segments within your business. Like let's say you operate in multiple countries. You can have a company code for the United States and one for Mexico, Canada, or Europe, something similar to that sort of nature. That's why companies may establish more than one company code for their controlling area. As I said, a company code can only be assigned to one operating chart of accounts. The operating chart of accounts is basically a list of the different accounts you may use to report your financial information, such as certain expenses for the company, different suppliers, vendors, customers even.
It contains the general ledger accounts. The chart of accounts contains the general ledger accounts that you use.
And then you use different general ledger accounts for multiple things as well. To assign multiple company codes to the same controlling area, as Bob said, they must have the same operating chart of accounts and the same fiscal year variant. This is a sort of question that you may see on the exam as well. Master data for financial accounting is long-term data that's organized into views that are assigned into organizational elements. Master data for F5 is pretty much just general ledger accounts. And then the chart of accounts lists all the general ledger accounts, as Bob also said. So mostly for financial accounting, any sort of master data that is pertained to the segment itself is going to be just GL accounts.
All right, so master data can be seen in views for the general ledger accounts as well as views for the company code. So the chart of account views for master data are going to be things like the actual number or the name or the type of account or the group account number or account group. And then master data has its own views for company code. That's currency information. So Canada is going to have a different currency. US dollar is going to be a different currency. So that's master data that's related to financial accounting directly for the company code. And then you see tax categories and individual lines posted to the customer, and then that will in turn post to the reconciliation account. That's why you never post to the recon account itself. All right, it's a short presentation because it's kind of broken up into parts. And now I've got some bonus questions. So it's more of a topic to kind of talk about. So does anybody have any questions on this?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate more on the R accounts, the recall accounts?
Reconciliation accounts?
Better example?
Yeah, so they can draw on the board for you. I don't work, I don't have a marker. It's awesome. No, okay. So, think about a normal accounting transaction, right? So when you're buying raw materials, I'll go back to the example. So it's the same for anything, whether it's going to be accounts payable or accounts receivable, or you're depreciating something, right? So when you're buying raw materials, you're going to get the material in, right? And then you're going to have a payable, right? But if you post it to the payable reconciliation account, you don't know where that payable is linked to, right? So there's going to be a vendor that you're actually going to make a posting to. When you make a posting to that vendor, that will make a posting to the reconciliation account, right? So when you pay that vendor, you'll make a posting directly to that vendor, and then that will make the opposite posting to the reconciliation account. So it's kind of an on the side thing we don't actually interact with. Does that make sense?
That happens within the SAP system, once we post the account to the vendor.
Yep.
It's kind of like the balances thing. Like, let's say you pay your vendor, like then you're gonna debit that vendor, then you're gonna credit your payables account too. So the recon accounts, like if you ever had like accounting or something, it's kind of like the T accounts that are set up. You have to, when you put a number on one side, you have to balance it out with some sort of different recon account, which it also does that in SAP. But you don't really see how it does it. Like it doesn't like show you in like the T account this and that. When you pay like a vendor, there's going to be something at like the bottom of the screen that has whatever general ledger account you set up for it. That will be your reconciliation account.
But it will still generate something called the reference document number or something for us to track it.
Yep, it will be traceable. And that's the purpose of it. And so you can separate your reconciliations, right, your reconciliation accounts, and divide it into where that money is actually going and where it's owed to. Right? So you're going to have multiple vendors you're buying materials from. Right? And when you post to those and you buy from all of them, they're all going to go to that accounts payable because you owe all of the money. But at least we split it up so you can see who owes money where, right? Or who we owe money to. And it works the opposite way too. You have customers that are buying from you, doing the same sort of thing. You'll post the same way, and you'll post to the accounts receivable reconciliation. Right? So are there any questions before we move on to the practice questions? All right. So out of the following, who's the primary audience for financial accounting? So think about it, write it down, shout out answers if you want to. But this is just for your own practice, because these are the sort of questions that you're going to see on the exam.
Would anybody like to try to answer? I know someone wants to.
Shareholders and employees?
Hold on.
C.
Let's do some.
Government agencies?
Close.
Alright, where are we gonna? Is ready to
Anyone
move on
else?
the answer?
Alright, it's
Alright.
government agencies and shareholders.
So the reason that is because, like I said at the very beginning, it's external information, right? Employees and mid-level managers are both internal, and they're going to be using the controlling information, which we'll talk about in later weeks. But financial information is going to be for things like government agencies and shareholders. So, the chart of accounts viewed for a general ledger account contains which of the following information? This is very similar to something you'll see on the actual exam with that nice mess of answers below it. So is it the type of account, line item category, tax category, account group, name, field status group, and there's multiple correct answers.
Account group.
This one's pretty tough. This is a tougher question.
Yep. This is where your notes come in handy.
Would anybody like to take a stab at it? Ooh, minus the B. You're right there. That was good.
The other ones are actually used for company code information.
That was a great guess, though. Thank you. Sorry. No worries. If, like I said, ever happens, just let me know. I will go back.
Are you guys looking out at email yet?
Yeah. I think we actually sent out this presentation if I'm not.
We sent out the last one. So what happened is, we added these test questions today, and I thought it'd be kind of weird to send the presentation out with all the test questions already in it. You know what I mean? So what I think I'm gonna do next time is make the presentation without the questions, email that out to everybody, and then put the questions in and show that in the meetings. I think that's gonna be a better way to do it. So these will be emailed out before the sessions. You can print them out and review them.
Could you include the test questions without the answer to that, so you can go back to them later?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
very reasonable.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Which name does it mean? Is it company name or the name of
It's the name of the name of the account.
Yeah.
Yep, because the general ledger accounts are the master data for the chart accounts, right? So that's what's going to be the name of the account.
The other three are master data now?
What's that?
The other three that are wrong on that are master data?
They are for the company. This is
Company
specifically
code.
for chart accounts. And on the test, they will differentiate between the two, and you really have to know where it's located.
All right. What must a company code share to be assigned to the same controlling area? I'll give you a hint. We said it maybe 2 or 3 times. Does anybody want to take a stab at it?
It's B&D.
Yes, it is B&D. The fiscal year variant and the operating chart of accounts. What?
You go back, that's way too fast.
Go back. We're going back.
I got a trigger finger.
I know. I get antsy.
By the way, I believe one of you two actually asked about the weights of the portions on the exam. I actually found my sheet, and everything was 8 to 12%, other than NetWeaver and ERP Basics. That was less than 8%. They don't give a direct percentage, but they do say between 8 and 12. So it's a pretty even spread.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on. What does the posting key determine? A, if a field is display only, the type of account it can be posted to, whether it's a debit or credit, the fiscal year of the posting, and which recon account should be used. This one also has more than one answer. Let you guys ponder it for a sec. Yeah. Would anybody like to take a stab at it? BC? Ooh, A, B, and C. It also determines that the field is display only. Could I elaborate for a second? Yeah. When you're going through, you do this in configuration. There's 3 different options that you can pick within the general ledger. It's display, not display, and I can't remember what's the 3rd one. But if the field is display only, that means like if you can't change it. Like let's say there's some sort of setting in your system that within your ledger account that you want it to be a sort of different, like a variant or an option that will remain unchanged within your system. Those are display only.
those being the three things that determines when you actually select the posting key.
If you want, you can come up to us after and we can discuss it too. You can look it up, make sure it's actually valid.
Well, this is, a lot of these questions are directly from the Turp 10 book. And if you want, I can actually bring a Turp 10 book for the next few meetings. If anybody has any questions, we can actually take deep into it if everybody's interested in that. That way you can kind of see some of the wording in the actual manual itself. So I'll bring it next week with me. So if anybody has any in-depth questions, we can see into it. So, which of the following do not have a reconciliation account? Customers, vendors, accounts payable, or assets?
C? Is that what I'm hearing? It is C. Should have specified that there's only one answer for this one, but accounts payable does not have a reconciliation account.
Well, accounts payable is a reconciliation account itself because you'd be posting to the vendor,
Right.
which would reconcile to the accounts payable. But the other three have reconciliation accounts associated to them.
It is impossible to post directly to a recon account. I mean, that's pretty good.
I put it somewhere like that.
Yeah. I'm throwing punches out there.
All right, does anybody have any questions on the presentation or anything related? It's kind of a short presentation.
I have a question for
Okay.
the name means the account name, what's the difference between the title of account and name?
The type of account is whether it's a balance sheet account or whether it is an equity account or something like that. Right? What's that? Yeah, income statement or balance sheet account, that's going to be what the account type or what the type of account is. Right. And then the name is directly, this is the name of this account. Right? So that this account name is account payable. Welcome. Anybody have any other questions? Other than when is